fat old guys out in front of your eyes. It's Rhyme and Reason 853. Here's your rhyme and reason. Oh, yeah. Hey there, Tony here. I don't know why it is, but fat old guys seem to be the typical Harley riders. Have you noticed that? And before you want to turn this off and go somewhere else, I'm not going to ramble on about fat old guys on motorcycles. I'm sure you've seen your share, and I'll leave it at that. You'd probably like to talk about almost anything else, right? Okay, well, let's do that. How about fat old guys walking down the street? How about that, huh? But let's take it a step further. Let's say they're walking down the street, I don't know, naked. Yeah, now that's not your typical scene, right? Except it is starting to get a whole lot more typical. And it's happening with the approval of large crowds of men, women, and children. Well, although I doubt the kids had any choice in the matter, but for example, in the week of 6/20, for example, in the weekend of June 23rd through June 25th, there was a Bud Light-sponsored so-called Pride Parade in Toronto, and that's in Canada for the geographically challenged, and it included nudists. Yes, that's Nudists, plural, nudists. And it wasn't the first parade to include them, and I'm sure it won't be the last. In fact, I suspect they'll be included in more and more parades as the tolerance and diversity wing of the so-called justice system sees nothing and knows nothing. Now, I'm saddened deeply for my country and my continent because America was kind of like the last ray of hope for morality and respect for God. But that ray of hope is flickering out. It used to be that morally bankrupt people preferred the dark of night because of their despicable behavior. And that's the only time they could get away with it. But now they proudly parade right out there in the middle of the daytime. I read a report that said, quote, another video emerged showing another act that happened in the parade. So I'm reading this as it was actually done. So let me go back. I'm going to read this just as it was written. Another video emerged showing another act that happened in the parade. Participants in drag danced with their breasts exposed to the audience, unquote. And the report continued, quote, other videos show a group of naked men playing and rinsing themselves off alongside a fountain surrounded by kids. Meanwhile, a stage clearly adorned with Bud Light branding featured scantily clad dancers wearing fishnets, nipple stickers, and strange sock-like masks. Yeah, just your normal day at the parade, right? But who am I to judge? Really, after all, if I don't want to watch, I can just not go or change the channel, right? Yeah, I could just move on with, nothing to see here. Get that kind of an attitude going. But there's one catch. Jesus said to love your neighbor as yourself. And I love myself enough to take eternal life where I can find it and take it seriously. So I want my neighbors to experience that too. Of course, I'm not going to try to force anyone to believe in eternal life and that it can only be found in Jesus. I'm not going to force that on anybody. I couldn't make them do that even if I did try. But I'll never give up recommending it to them, and I'll never give in and simply tolerate their despicable behavior. They certainly don't tolerate my Christian faith, and that's the height, width, and depth of their hypocrisy. Naturally, and I use that word because it fits perfectly, the tolerance that's preached in pride parades has no actual boundaries. So as more and more sin is accepted, it gets more and more depraved. What do you expect? That's going to continue to happen and be more and more so. Fat old guys and women and young ones too, parading around naked in front of children, that's bad. And that's putting it mildly. But if that behavior is left unchecked and unpunished. To quote Bachman Turner Overdrive, you ain't seen nothing yet. Here's a slightly humorous side note. The webpage with the report of all this awful news included some ironically humorous bullet point ads. And these were ads that popped up that weren't part of the article, but I copied them and pasted them into my blog post. And here's what they are. I'll read them to you verbatim. These are ads that were amongst all this, naked guys walking around. Here's an ad. This is a urologist speaking. Enlarged prostate? Do this immediately. Genius. Okay. And then here's another ad. Big belly? Take this before bed and lose up to 52 pounds in 10 days. And I thought, that's so funny to see these ads pop up in places where guys are exposing their everything, and some of them have big bellies, and hey, just because you're naked on the street doesn't mean you don't still have the same problems as every other guy. So I guess even the naked fat old guys and, anybody who cheers them on, you can have the same health and vanity issues. But you know what? One day, if they don't turn to God for help with their hardened hearts, they'll wish for the days when they only had belly fat and prostate problems.
Where is your vision? Where do you lay your treasure? Have you been wanting and living in earthly pleasure? Ask and receive not, and trust in your worldly friendship, then stand afflicted because of your lustful kinship. Worldly
Yeah, that's right. Don't let all that worldliness let your joy turn into heaviness, and don't let it rob you of your righteousness. The key point in that song, draw near to God, and he'll draw near to you, because worldliness will never do what he can do. I long for the day when I won't feel compelled to speak out against men and women who prey on and even murder little children. And I look forward to an eternal future when none of those people who hate God will ever trouble me or anyone who loves him. That day is coming. I know it is. Because even right here, in the middle of an overflowing ocean of darkness, right here in good old US of A, the light of God's love shines with inextinguishable power. But that's for anyone who cares to see it. Okay, that's this episode of Rhyme and Reason, brought to you by TonyFunderburk.com, as always, because other sponsors, they probably can't even afford it. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, remember, life has rhyme and reason because God made you.
There's a rhyme